Today my topic is elephants everywhere. Everywhere, elephants. Can you guess what it is? What am I going to talk about?
Elephants? Animals?
Okay, good guess. I have to tell you stories from two generations to make it clear. Because it took my entire life to understand the elephant's nature. Story 1 from the first generation. When I was young, I was walking with my mom in one of the Indian streets. That time I saw an elephant standing in the corner of the street. I was super excited. I was holding my mom's hand. No, I was pulling my mom towards the elephant. When we approached the elephant, I saw a huge, gigantic elephant standing there. But I was shocked to see that elephant was tied to a small tree using a very tiny chain. So I was holding my mom's hand very tight. I was refusing to go near that elephant. What if the elephant breaks that chain and attacks me? I was having those kind of fears. My mom told, no, don't worry about it. That elephant would never try to break the chain. I was not convinced at all. I started to observe that elephant for a while. That elephant was waving its trunk, moving its body, doing all the activities except pulling the chain. That looked so weird to me. Such a huge elephant that was so obedient, and it was not controlled by a small man. It was not even trying to pull the chain. I asked a lot of questions and I found that stupid reason for that. Because when the elephant was so young, that man tied that elephant to the chain using that same tiny chain into the tree. That elephant tried everything possible to break the chain, but it did not have that power to break that chain. So that elephant gave up trying to break the chain at one point of time in its life. Later, the elephant became so powerful and gigantic. Now it has a lot of powers. But it was not trying to break the chain at all. It decided it could not break the chain. Frustrated by knowing this fact, hey, you are such a huge animal. What is the use of growing up so big? What is the use of all the power you have? You just don't know how to break the chain. Because the chain was not the physical chain. It was the psychological chain which was created when the elephant was so young. The elephant could not break that psychological chain. I felt very proud about myself. I am a human being. I am not that stupid animal. That's the end of story 1. Now I am going to tell you the story from generation 2. In this story, I am the old man. My son was holding my hand. One day, one evening, we decided to go out for a walk. My son was holding my hand very tight. He was so excited. He was pulling me towards the door. Dad, let's go out. But during the process, he hurt my hand because he had nails in his fingers. I asked, why do you have so much of big nails? Let us cut the nails now. He quickly found a nail cutter. He asked me to cut the nails. Before cutting the nails, I checked the time. It was like 6:15 p.m. in the evening. I said, no, it has already crossed 6 p.m. Let us cut the nails tomorrow. He asked me why. I said, no, we should not cut the nails after 6 p.m. It is not good for the family. Let us cut the nails tomorrow. He was not convinced at all. He asked me why. What is not good for the family? That time I stepped back and thought about myself. I never used to cut the nails after 6 p.m. in the evening. Why? Why? Because my mom told me when I was young, you should not cut the nails after 6 p.m. It is not good for the family. I was blindly believing that. My mom created a mental psychological chain when I was so young, which I could not break throughout my life. That time I thought about that elephant. That elephant laughed at me. Hey. After all, you are a human being. What is the use of your education? What is the use of growing up so big? What is the use of speaking in English? You are still stupid. You cannot break the chain, which was mental chain, psychological chain, which was created when you were so young. That's when I thought, I am not different than from the elephant. That elephant looked better than me. Because those elephants don't go and preach or teach their kids all the stupid stuff. We human beings do that. The moment we start believing it, whether we understood it or not, whether we questioned it or not, doesn't matter. We are in a hurry to teach all those things to our kids without even checking it. I felt so bad. And then I started to look for the pattern. Am I the only one living like that? And then I saw there are elephants everywhere. There are elephants everywhere. Wherever I go, I just saw lots of elephants. Once I was stuck in a traffic, I saw lots of cars after me, behind me and then in front of me. People were blocking each other's way. I was just wondering, the world is so big and not so beautiful. Why everybody is traveling in this direction and this time and everyone is blocking each other? Who conditioned every one of us to believe their success lies in this direction? I saw elephants there. I did not see any human being there. Only elephants trying to obey or conditioned to think what they are doing is right. My friend invited me for his marriage. I went to his marriage party. I saw 2 elephants getting married. I asked my friend, why are you getting married? He had no clue. He said, hey, our entire generation is conditioned to get married. Why are you asking only me about marriage? I just saw elephants. We never thought why, how, when, what is necessary. We never questioned any of our activities. We are just conditioned to live in certain way. That's what we are doing. And we put all the blame on that elephant. Elephants are stupid. No. We teach our kids wrong things. We educate our kids saying human beings are better than animals. No, definitely not. Human beings are not better than any animals. Your thinking and questioning ability is what makes you better creature. If you are not questioning and if you are not asking questions, you are no way different than an animal. That's what I learned from that elephant. I started to ask questions myself. Why my mom asked me to not to cut the nails after 6 p.m. I wanted to know the reason. And then I found my mom and grandma were living in a village in India. They did not have any electricity during that time. It will get darker after 6 p.m. So it was not a good idea to cut the nails after 6 p.m. The probability was very high. They may hurt their finger. They did not have proper tools also. So she was right when she told me, don't cut the nails after 6 p.m. She was just enforcing me by saying it is not good for the family, so that I won't try to do that. But for me, I am totally living in a different country, totally in different time zone. I see sunlight sometimes after 10 p.m. also. Is it still valid for me? So I just questioned myself. Most of the time I spend under the roof in bright lights. For me, sunset, sunrise timing doesn't matter. So I just told my son, don't worry about it. Let us cut the nails. We should make sure we are not cutting the nails when it is dark. Let me tell you one thing. We all have some form of elephants sitting within us. Are you living like an elephant or like a human being? Ask yourself. Thank you, Toastmasters.